Hello, this is Marie, and when it's raining I stay inside and watch Daniel's Technical Bits.
Absolutely fascinating.
Greetings everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Daniel's Technical Bits. Now I've got a rather unusual, weird sort of a topic for you today, but one that makes a lot of sense if you're into acoustic gramophones and all that sort of thing. Now a while back I heard someone put a comment on one of the YouTube channel comment parts of a video that there was actually software available to make an ordinary modern type recording sound as if it was played back on an acoustic gramophone. And I started to think what that might involve, and then thought, you can't really produce the proper sound, authentic sound of an acoustic gramophone just by filtering and adding noise. You've actually got to add the actual metallic resonances of the horn, the metal horn, and the diaphragm that's actually in there, and all that sort of thing as well. So we'll just take a look at this experiment I'm about to do, which will explain it a little bit more. So I've just whipped up this crude little apparatus this morning. What it basically involves is my gramophone. Now anyone watching this, it is a modern reproduction, I do know that, yet the physics are exactly the same. Now in here we've got the sound box with the stylus, and that particular diaphragm is metal, which is what gives the metallic sound, that tinny metallic sound, to older recordings such as this. Of course you've got the natural resonance of the metal funnel as well, producing that same sort of sound. Now this particular experiment I've set up this morning very quickly is very crude, I know, but is meant to demonstrate a modern sound going through, physically going through this old setup, to try and isolate exactly what portion of the sound of an old gramophone type sound is affected by the metallic resonance, the natural resonance of all the metallic parts, particularly the diaphragm and the horn, has on the sound. So what I've done, I've got a modern piece of music in the MP3 player being amplified by an amplifier underneath there, straight into a speaker here. The speaker has had all the paper removed so as not to produce a sound of its own and contaminate what I'm trying to listen to. There is a piece of wood and a piece of metal stuck on top that I will place up against the stylus at the right pressure. Will vibrate the transducer, that's the wrong word I know, the diaphragm in there, straight up through there, to actually get an idea of what these metallic parts of this machine will do to an ordinary sound. The audio on here has not been affected or filtered or in any way whatsoever. No noise is added, so it's just the pure raw isolation of the metallic components and natural resonances of that system. Now, just before I go any further, I'll just point out that the piece of music I'm going to use is from the Free Music Archive, that is freemusicarchive.org, a Creative Commons licensed piece of music, so I can quite safely use it in this video, which of course is what I'm looking for. The piece of music is from a group called Eurothug, from their album Touching, a great piece of music called We Should Have Built From Metal. All attributions and links to this music and the site is available at the closing credits of this episode. So what I'm going to do now is go and get the tripod, because I need to get very, very close to this and poke this right down in there, because the modulation, the deviation of this setup here with that speaker is far less than what you get from a record actually using this correctly. So the sound is much, much, much lower. So let's go for it.
Daniel's Technical Bits.
I'm envious.
So we'll just start this setup now. What I'm going to do is to put this onto here, which I'll bring the camera up in just a moment to show you. So here we go. This is how it's going to go on. A bit crude, but it does work. I'll stick it down the cone in a moment. That's better, got rid of some of the distortion there. So it actually sounds quite good. There is a tinny sound there. I don't know if you can hear it over the video, but there definitely is a tinny sound there. the sound still is surprisingly good. So there you have it, a little crude experiment there on putting ordinary, full-resolution modern sound mechanically straight through into an old acoustic gramophone, just to try and isolate how much of the sound that we actually hear is due to the natural resonances of the metallic diaphragm and horn and that in the actual thing itself, as opposed to just filtering it, which I think is probably what a lot of the software does that you might find on the internet about that sort of thing. Anyway, hope this has been interesting. Thank you for watching.
Hello, this is Marie, and when it's raining I stay inside and watch Daniel's technical bits.
Absolutely fascinating.